for listening. We are in beautiful Astoria, Oregon, in Fort George Brewery. This is the Together with Veterans Pacific Northwest podcast, and we are the second of the 503rd Rogue Cell. I'm Sean.
And I'm Brad.
Hey, I'm Sean Davis. I served 6 years in the regular Army. I was in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, for a couple years as infantry. Got out. We went to Haiti during the Revolution in 1996 and in 95. Made fun of all the guys from Fort Drum because we were in Hawaii and they're in Drum, and that's where hell froze over. And then after that deployment ended, I was stationed at Fort Drum. And I changed to be military police for a couple years. Served in Bad Aibling, Germany. Became an E6 and got out of the military in 99. The day after September 11th, I re-enlisted into the Army National Guard because I wanted to do my part. I just didn't want to go to war. A year and a half later, I'm in Iraq, and I get blown up and sent home. And as soon as I was able to walk again, Hurricane Katrina happened. Went down to New Orleans to help out there. Then after that, I just got out. I had a really hard time when I got out of the military, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. We'll talk more about that later. But what helped me was finding art, writing my own story, and doing stuff like this and helping other people out. And so I got out as an E7 and enlisted guy. And now I volunteer Together with Veterans, and we're doing this great podcast. And I'll throw it over to let Brad introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Brad Heitzig. I served in the Army for 15 years, active duty. For some reason, the Army thought I'd be good as an officer, so I served until I became a major, and then the Army retired me for mental health issues. But I volunteer Together with Veterans, and like Sean, I had a little bit of a hard time when I was getting out, and I also write. I served primarily in Alaska. I was there for 3 duty stations, and after that, I became a mathematician instead of an engineer, and that was the worst decision I made. I miss working with the Joes for sure.
Well, I got out as infantry and got associates, a bachelor's, and a master's degree with my VA benefits. And I always tell everybody, when I come into my class, I was teaching college, they're like, why is this mechanic in front of the class? I'm like, no, I'm in the poetry and writing and shit. What I was going to say is I was using my brain muscles instead of my back muscles.
I was definitely using my brain muscles. The Army sent me for 2 graduate degrees. When I got out, my first job was at a grocery store long enough to get a job at a cemetery, and that was...
Oh, man. Yeah, when I first got back after getting blown up, my first job was a waiter at a floating restaurant on the Columbia River, and that was just horrible. I could not deal. But let's talk more about that later. I want to talk about where we're at. We are in Astoria, Oregon. So for people who are not in Oregon, or even if you are in Oregon, you don't know, you cannot go any further north in Oregon, and you can barely go any further west than where we're at. We're at the mouth of the Columbia River where it goes into the Pacific Ocean. It's Clatsop County. And we are lucky enough to be in Fort George Brewery, and we're going to talk... Nate, do you know why it's called Fort George, or what Fort George was?
So originally this was the military post here back in Lewis and Clark times. And this block where we're on is basically where the old military fort used to be. In fact, you can see the green lines on the street.
Yeah, so if people come to visit, they can see the green lines painted.
See the original lines of
you guys even have a little piece of it back there.
Exactly. There's a little part of the fort out back. There's a plaque talking about the history of the fort and the founder of the fort, Ronald McDonald. No relation to, spelled different, but
it's Ranald.
R-A-N-A-L-D, not Ronald. So no.
He was not a clown.
No connection to the corporation with the arches.
This is Nate Turner. He was in the Army, and the 170th IBCT.
Infantry Brigade Combat Team.
Yeah, see, they got all new acronyms after I left the military. But you were stationed in Germany.
Yes.
How long were you in the Army?
A little over 5 years.
So when did you get out?
I got out in 2012.
2012. Okay, so that was a long time ago. But to me, it seems like it wasn't that long ago because I got out in 2007.
2013, I'm sorry.
2013. So me, I got hurt in Iraq in 2004. So that 20 years is almost coming up. I'm like, oh my God, man, I can't believe I'm that old.
I hit 10 years in July.
Dang. Yeah. And then you got out, and how did you come here to Astoria to work at Fort George? I have to say the beer is amazing. I'm having the Meadows Pilsner.
Fantastic. It's a great beer.
Yeah.
Drinking the, I forget which flavor, the chamomile kombucha.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the taste of that's really good.
I went to culinary arts school after high school, and after finishing that, enlisted as a cook because they gave me a $45,000 signing bonus, and I was like, I get to skip AIT? Dope.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, I would like to know, why does the Army have cooks? Because when we were in Iraq, I don't know about you, Brad, but we had a bunch of Filipino people come from the Philippines to cook for us. I mean, I thought that was a job in the Army, man.
I thought they peeled potatoes, but...
I know, according to
I never once peeled a potato in the Army.
Oh my gosh,
never
busting
once.
through the stereotypes.
No, because all of the mashed potatoes that we get were dehydrated. So you add water and syrup. Yeah.
I was lied to by, what's that, Private Bailey? What's that cartoon?
Beetle Bailey.
Beetle Bailey. I was lied to by Beetle Bailey.
Well, and I think Donald Duck, too. Like, every time, because he was a sailor, and every time he'd get in trouble, they'd make him go peel potatoes in the ship's hold.
That's awesome. All right, well, I'm going to come back and talk to you about the history of Fort George and how it is working here, but we're going to get our next guest. We're going to keep Nate, but our next guest is Matthew Zedwick. We had the good fortune to be in the same unit for a while. We were in Iraq together.
Heck yeah.
And then we had the bad fortune of doing racetracks on the same MSR until we got blown up.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
And so I got hurt pretty bad. Z took me out of the Humvee, and he won a Silver Star and became an action figure in a video game. And then you went on. So what was your military career after Iraq? Your first tour.
Okay, so after that was actually my only combat tour that I went on.
Well, it was a good one to end on.
Yeah, dude, that was. Oh man, that's probably definitely one of the, I guess, highlights of my life, good and bad.
Yeah.
But no.
So my problem was you being the action figure.
Yeah.
They had you with the shotgun, and I carried the shotgun. You didn't carry the shotgun, and that shotgun got melted in the explosion, right?
Yep. I got a backup.
I'm gonna call bullshit, buddy.
No, I carried the shotgun after you left.
Oh, son of a bitch! All right.
You can open up the action figure and melt the shotgun.
I should have brought the action figure. I still have mine. I'm gonna take some pictures of it and put it on the Facebook page and the website.
I wanted to put it on our wedding cake for someone to go for it.
That just sounds like a party pooper right there. What a perfect cake topper. You don't even have to pay for it.
we would have had to come up with some type of custom pose. I'm like, oh, you could be like one of those girls on the cover of the Barbarian movies, just grabbing onto my legs. You know?
Oh yeah.
You're just turning yourself into a Matt Best video.
She would have to be low because you're leveling the shotgun at something. It looks like you're breaching.
I know. Oh man. Yeah. We did cut the cake with a sword though, my NCO saber, so that was great.
Oh, nice.
That was exciting.
So you're in Astoria here. What are you doing here?
So my wife and I, we own our own business. We're a veteran-owned veterinary clinic here in Astoria. And
does that get confusing?
Yeah, the vet.
I'm here for my PTSD meds. We can neuter your dog.
Dog therapy. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, you got to plug your business real quick. What's the name?
Columbia Veterinary Hospital. So we purchased it in 2012 from Dr. Goza. And my wife, Kristen, she's worked there since she was 14.
Wow.
So I met her down at Oregon State, and that's what I did when I got back from Iraq. So I was like, all right, man, well, can't be partying the rest of my life. I better do something and use my brain and get an education.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about how all these infantry guys end up using their brain muscles. It takes a while.
Yeah. Well, I joined ROTC to keep me on track, went to the dark side, and branched military intelligence.
Brad's sitting right there.
Can't unhurt feelings.
It's Major Brad over there.
Oh, no. Hasn't been my name for a while.
And then you literally became Captain Insano.
Yeah.
I guess that's the inside joke, I shouldn't say. But you were Captain Insano for a long time as an enlisted guy.
Yep.
He wore these, diving goggles and a cape and his brown Army issued underwear. That's pretty much it. Then he'd fly around the barracks. I hope I'm not putting out this and your officer people don't know this.
Oh, I don't care. I'm out of the Army now. I'm retired.
I feel like every unit had one of those guys.
It was those cheap goggles that always rip off your face that gave to us when we were doing the fry certification when FAST were open.
Those suck.
Yeah, those suck.
Oh, those awful black ones?
Yeah, those are terrible.
Are the worst.
So I want to get back to Nate. We're here at Fort George, but you don't work in this building.
No, I work at the waterfront in production.
And we were talking earlier that the beer pier down there. So if you're in Astoria and you guys are doing a beer pier event, that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. It's right on the river.
Yeah, it won't be open again for a couple more months, but I think we'll have it open from end of April all the way through end of September or something.
Yeah, I'm glad you said April to September because we don't know when we're going to get this episode out. We're open this month, but I don't know. It's good to have the names of the months.
It's the best place to watch the 4th of July fireworks.
If you can get a spot, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get
We got there early and we waited for like 7 hours and it was awesome.
That's the thing.
Really
It just gets packed fast and there's live music and it's a heck of a party.
Yeah, they're doing a Grateful Dead cover band. That was good.
Sounds pretty
good. Have you been down the beer pier?
No.
What?
I haven't
Chris
either.
and I tried to go once on when we had the kids in daycare. We broke away from the clinic for a little lunch date.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, let's go down the warehouse, check out the pier.
Yeah.
No, they're closed and there's no food cart there. We're like, well, guess we're going somewhere else. Went across the street to the workers.
But I want to know what you know. Nate, I want to know what you know about Fort George. So this is a veterans podcast, and what we do, just giving you guys the quick, 30-second thing. Our big mission is to prevent veteran suicides, specifically in rural areas. And we're doing this by going out and showing, you guys can have fun. We went through it, and it sucked, and it doesn't get a lot easier, but you can live with it and get out there and do stuff. And Astoria is a great place to do stuff. And so that's our pitch. But you working for Fort George, we want to talk about military stuff. Some of the history?
I mean, I know a little bit of the more recent history, like the 1922 fire and the Lovell building. Fort George. He was a licensed Ford repair shop. So back in the day, Ford was only certain people can fix our cars. We're only going to teach certain people how to fix their stuff, so we can keep it all kind of in house. And so this was a Ford dealership and auto shop. And he was the only one around anywhere to get your car fixed. And when the fire came, the firewall line was basically right outside on the street right here, and they had crews.
The fire of 1922.
Fire in 1922.
Big fire that destroyed most of the town.
90% of the town. And so this was the last line of defense for the fire going up the hill. And they were going to blow up this whole block with dynamite to make a backstop for the fire. Yeah, the whole street, all the way down.
I heard because they, after the first fire was in 1860,
something like that.
And after it burned down, hey, we got an idea. We're going to put fire hydrants in, but the pipes that they used were wood.
Yep.
Because they were so good at making wooden barrels and casks for beer and whiskey, they made their fire hydrant water pipes out of wood, and the fire and the wood burnt. Yep. And so then the loggers came in with quarter sticks of dynamite, we're gonna fix this.
We're gonna blow up. We're gonna blow up the whole street from 3 blocks down that way, all the way to the police station. Just blow the whole thing up.
What fire was he gonna put out with that shotgun?
He stood on the roof and threatened the firefighters who were getting ready to plant the dynamite. He said, "You set that off, I'm going to shoot every single one of you." And they were like, "We better not piss off this redneck with a shotgun."
So I'm guessing is at Fort George, working for Fort George, they do care about the history of
definitely. I mean, we have the talks every Thursday, the Thursday night talks TNT program. I love history and I'm always fascinated by that kind of stuff, but I didn't seek out any of this information. I was like, I wonder what they're talking about. And they're like, oh yeah, you don't know the story about the fire and guy with a shotgun? I'm like, no, but that sounds cool. Tell me about it.
Fort George is a real community hub for Astoria.
Definitely. And huge community within Fort George. Like, this is one of the first companies, I've been out almost 10 years, and this is really the first place I've worked where every single day after work, at least 75% of the staff will all meet up here and have a beer. And that culture just doesn't really exist that much in the real world.
So Z, how long have you lived in Astoria?
Since 2010.
So Brad has been looking up stats for a lot of stuff for this podcast. We saw that Clatsop County has a very high percentage of veterans. Have you seen that? Double the national average, and I saw that and I was like, wow. I mean, and it's weird because Oregon doesn't have a military base in it. Well, Washington. Yeah. So how long have you lived here, Z?
Since 2010.
2010, and you were in the military for time, right? Were you stationed around here?
No, I was actually stationed in Portland. I just stayed in the Army National Guard here in Oregon.
So, what are some of the difficulties that you guys see as veterans? Because one of the we definitely our mission is to help veterans and try to prevent veteran suicide. But helping veterans, like, what are some obstacles that you guys seen living here in Clatsop County, which is it's rural. I mean, there's a lot more rural places in Oregon, but there's a lot less too. So, what are some of the obstacles that you guys seen?
Biggest things to me is healthcare and housing.
Housing, like affordable housing?
Yeah, I'm still paying as much rent for a smaller apartment here than I was in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the housing's super limited. It's been that way for a while.
And what about healthcare? Where do you go? Do you have VA healthcare?
So there is a clinic on Camp Royalea that is not accepting new patients and has not been for like the last 5 years.
That's my clinic too. They had 2 nurse practitioners. They both left.
Yeah. You can get seen through community care, through Columbia Memorial, but I mean, you're going to be waiting.
Yeah, you have no idea if they'll approve it. And even if they do approve it and you go, you don't know what you're going to pay, what they'll cover. Yeah, that's tough. I'm in the same boat.
My therapist was also out of Camp Rylea, and he recently just left. I don't know the story there, but has left.
Camp Rylea was never meant to do that. I mean, it was cool that they did it.
The VA building is very small there.
It's tiny.
But that's the problem. So somebody asked me, because we were talking to lawmakers, like, so what's the issue? I'm like, well, it's a Camp Rylea, which is a state camp, VA, which is federal, serving Clatsop County veterans. So I don't know.
Different colors of money right there.
Yeah, it should be good. You having problems with that too?
Well, for healthcare, I've been driving 2 hours to Portland.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean,
mostly
talking to other veterans in the area. I already knew
4 hours round trip.
Yeah, 4 hours round trip. I already knew it was going to be a problem trying to get treatment.
It took me 6 months to even be seen over here, and as soon as I got seen, they're like, no, you need to go to HSU.
Dude, weren't you listening earlier? My wife's a veterinarian. Come down to the office, man.
It helps all the vets, whether you're a veterinarian or a veteran.
Yeah, she stitches and glues me up.
Well, we just met. I'll give her a call after this.
And I think one of the biggest problems here in this county is, for example, like Josh Davis, our VSO, he just left. I never know who the VSO is in the area, except for Josh, because I knew him and he reached out to me, and he's the first one that ever did.
Yeah.
But there's no outreach. There's actually no veteran outreach. Anything that happens like veteran-wise in this community is either the American Legion, which I went down to the post.
I went to the American Legion here, and their commander has health issues, and so they don't have a commander right now. At least they didn't. I don't know if they do now. And it seemed like they're kind of disorganized, but they do have karaoke and prime rib on Fridays.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you can. Those are
awesome things.
You can buy a pint of Fort George beer there for $4.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
Here it's like $6 or $7.
I'm an employee.
But that's my point. Like, American Legion shouldn't be a place for veterans to go just to drink very cheap beer.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be a force in the community doing stuff. And I'm not saying they're not. I don't think it's their fault if they're not doing anything, because they don't have a commander right now. And I did that in Portland, and I don't want to do that again, because that's a lot of work.
I will say a lot of the younger generation, especially people my age, have no interest in joining the Legion or the VFW. It's like, what am I getting out of it?
Yeah.
I've
Like,
never walked into either of them.
you ever seen anybody my age in a VFW?
I've never been in a VFW.
See, exactly.
I would
For
say
a
it's
Christmas
a
party.
pretty awesome place to go, and I would put this out there. I mean, you're a history buff, so like when you go in there, there's older guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a community there. There's Vietnam veterans, and those guys did so much for us, for the benefits that we have now, that they never even received. Like, they fought hard for that shit.
Yeah. The fact that we have
a good point.
benefits, I would say thank a Vietnam vet, because they really kicked some ass for us. And I did go to the American Legion here, and I looked through their history. That building, I asked the bartender, I'm like, why is this a 3-story building with no windows? And she threw me the keys so I could go check upstairs. They have war memorabilia going back to the 1940s that need to be in a museum. They don't go upstairs anymore. But as far as the American Legion goes, what they need are young people like us to come in there and do this. I was a part of the American Legion. I was post commander in Portland, and I found out that there are more American Legions in this country than there are Starbucks.
Yeah.
And there are in pretty much every small town. And if young vets like us, I've seen so many young vets go in, make a organization or a nonprofit because they want to help. None of them go to the American Legion to do it, where you actually have brick and mortar. And so when I did that, we did start a homeless shelter out of our American Legion because we saw it was needed, and we did it. So you can do amazing stuff. It's just you have to. Nobody wants to join it, because right now, I'll tell you my part, and we will go to the American Legion conference this year and talk to them. But for my part, I saw the priority was membership first, and then community outreach and community effort, because they wanted the membership, because they want that money, because the American Legion is one of the only military organizations in the country that can go to Capitol Hill and actually lobby. When you have a 501c3, you're not supposed to be in politics. The American Legion, I think, is a 501c7, maybe a 501c9. They can actually go and talk to our lawmakers and try to make them change stuff. So they want money, because that's the language that politics is right now, unfortunately.
Which is pretty awesome. But, I mean, for example, like you said, Nate, when was the last time you saw someone your age in there? I mean, who's going to lobby for us if our voices are heard?
All right, let's all 4 of us go join. I'm a member. I'm already a member.
I'm already a member as well, but
I think we need to go on Friday for prime rib.
Yeah, let's go Friday with prime rib and sing some karaoke.
I got Fridays off.
But you know, I not actually being from this area and being from Southeast Alaska, you know, we have American Legion that does actually do a lot of the outreach. So where I'm from, you know, there's not very many of us from my age group demographic that have served that actually go back and live in island community Alaska. Like, it's a rough life. Once you get a chance to get off the island, you don't really want to go back.
Well, the Army is good for that. Getting you out of your house.
But so, like, when I got out, I worked at the local brewery in town, and we were doing deliveries to the Legion at least once a week. And so, like, I was like, I think this is an organization that I should be a part of. But they also, like, reached out and were like, hey, you're a vet. You should come join up with either. It doesn't have to be us. It can be VFW or Purple Heart or whatever. And yeah, sure. I mean, it makes sense. You guys are the only ones who actually came to me and said, we think you should be a part. So I said, all right, I'll be a part.
And when I went in there and looked at their history books, they had a pretty great historian. And that building, the downstairs, was used for World War I vets. You know how old this town is. This is the old. We didn't say that. Astoria is the oldest town
in Oregon.
Settlement west of the Rockies.
Of the whole United States. Yeah.
That's right.
1811, 1812. But when I went in there, what I found out is the bottom floor of that building was used for African American World War I vets. Create an organization.
Wow.
The top floor at the same time was for the KKK.
Oh no!
And they had entrances at either end, and they would not, So one would, go upstairs, but they were able to live in peace in the same. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I was like, holy shit, this is pretty cool history. So you're right. We have to go definitely talk to them. Originally, this was supposed to be its own country. John Jacob Astor and Thomas Jefferson said, let's start a democratic country on the West Coast that we can be allies with the United States of America. And then it got taken by the British. But Well, this is what happened, and I love this because we got Astoria back through a loophole. So British were coming, right? And it was Captain Black from the British ship the Raccoon, and he comes here, and right before, like 2 months before they get here, the Americans, the United States citizens who were trapping here, like knew the British were coming. They knew they couldn't fight them off, so they sold Fort Astoria to the British Fur Company, and so the British Fur Company moves in, and they all move out. And when Captain Black gets here, he's like, "I was supposed to take over shit. What the fuck, man? There's nobody here to take over. I'm pissed." So what he did was he took down the Union Jack. He put up the Stars and Stripes, and then he made a big deal about lowering the Stars and Stripes, putting up the Union Jack, and it went all the way back up. And then he hit the flagpole with champagne. So he did a surrender ceremony. So 2 years later, in 1814, after the War of 1812 was over, and it was the Treaty of Ghent, said that anybody on both sides, whoever territory they took over, they have to give back. So even though the Americans sold Astoria to the British, because of that surrender ceremony, they had to give it back.
Wow.
So that's how we got Astoria back.
That's awesome.
Wow, we were almost all speaking British then.
Man, I love living here.
More dumb shit the military does.
I can see a commander do. I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry, Z, but I can see a commander do. Bullshit. I came here to fucking take it over. I'm taking it over. Run that flag back up.
Poor guy was
And I'm as enlisted guy. I'm the guy like, all right, fuck it. I'm putting the flag up.
So when I was deployed,
See, stop swimming in the river. Get back over here.
when I was deployed in Afghanistan, my garrison sergeant major is now the sergeant major of the Army.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I could do better.
Sergeant Major Grinston.
I was General Milley's driver in Fort Drum. He is now the head military god. It could have been a opiate dream, but I'm pretty sure some famous general pinned my Purple Heart onto my blanket. So Petraeus walks in, and he has one guy behind him with a camera. He's like, "Sonny, can we do this?" I'm like, It's like, and I didn't have any clothes on, so he just pinned the Purple Heart right on the sheet. And the guy took a picture, and they left, and I didn't talk to anybody else for another 8 hours until the nurse came in for more meds.
So other than shaving a hat, what's the dumbest thing the military made you do?
Oh, this is a great question. I raked leaves in the fall during air assault in Hawaii. So I had to move holes. They'd come out like, "I want you to move that hole over there."
Sandbag detail, yeah.
No, there's a hole.
Yeah, fill in that hole and then take another hole.
You're moving the hole.
We did the same thing with sandbags for days.
Yeah.
Take these sandbags, fill them up over here, take them over there, empty them out over there, and just a big circle. But the dumbest thing I ever had to do was sweep the flight line during a sandstorm. Yeah. Category 2 sandstorm. And me and this other dude, we had gotten in a fight, and we're sitting out there, full combat gear, schmogs over our faces, just miserable.
I've got a good one for you guys. For you, especially Nate, for Alaska. I was just about to release my company for the weekend, a long weekend. And my battalion commander calls me up. "Brad, everybody can go have a snowball fight." So we sent... He spit his beer out the midst.
Everybody can have a snowball fight?
I'm assuming this is an infantry unit?
No, engineers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's worse.
They're making igloos like they're 3 stories tall.
We've done that too.
Where'd that Sutton Tower come from?
This was an organized snowball fight in downtown Anchorage.
Oh my God.
And he wanted a team from his battalion to be in it. I forgot, it had some German name like Shoo Flufen
And
or
they
something.
were never
like that.
allowed to participate again.
It's like, where'd the catapult come from?
Well, we had an Army versus Air Force snowball fight in Ramstein Air Force Base, and after the first year, they're like, "That's never happening again." They had too many injuries on the Air Force
Yeah,
side.
so many of the Air Force guys had to go to the hospital, I'm sure, at Ramstein.
Yeah.
So on the other side, the enlisted guys, like, what's the stupidest thing we had to do in the military? I want to know for the officer guys, what's the dumbest thing you had to put in a safety briefing for the... I'll go first, so while you guys are thinking, so we just had gone back from air assault school in Hawaii. Hawaii, and we're on the third floor of the barracks, enlisted barracks, and some guys got really drunk and decided that they can rappel out of the third floor window with stereo cord.
What?
And it broke. The guy broke his leg and almost broke his back. And they're like, so that went into the briefing, the safety briefing.
We were all told we weren't allowed to go to Eder Oberstein because the town was run by the mob, the Russian mob. And so, of course, we would all go there to party every They were like, mob's not going to mess with a bunch of Army infantry dudes. We'll be fine.
I don't know if you spent much time in Anchorage at all, but there was Chilkoot Charlie's.
Yeah.
And we would brief there that you
a
couldn't
strip
go
club
to
in Alaska?
Chilkoot Charlie's. It's not a strip club, but just a dance club.
Oh, that's right.
And we couldn't send our guys there because we have to brief. There's too many prostitutes. And that's where they would all go there. I'd spend some time with Chilkoot Charlie's.
So if you say,
myself.
hey guys, don't go here because they're prostitutes, they're all going to wink at you. Thanks for the info.
I was thinking of the
We'll definitely
Alaska
not
Bush
go there.
Oh, yeah. Also, I had to brief my soldiers to not try to tip moose.
No moose tipping?
No moose
Oh,
tipping.
man.
You saw a moose with a children's playset on its rack.
That's right. I was hiking in Eagle River, and it was wintertime, and there was a moose, a very angry moose, with a swing from a kid's playset hanging from its antlers. We ran from him because he charged up.
All right, Z, dumbest safety briefing.
Man.
So
I don't really
after
have
the
anything
infantry,
here.
you went to military intelligence.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a great place for a grunt to go.
Yeah, thank God all my briefings are confidential, so I can't share any of this. I don't know if I have anything like that because I kind of, being prior infantry and enlisted, I left my safe briefings pretty generic and open-ended, just so it wouldn't be detailed for safety briefings because I knew. But I would say one of the dumbest things. Okay, so we all made the transition to wearing body armor, IBAs, every time we went to the shooting range. Remember when we didn't do that?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I remember we had this one gal, and I was commanding a headquarters unit at the time. It was our first time to the range, and this gal takes everything off besides her t-shirt, laying down right behind the fire line and reading a book.
I've had some Joes like that, but that's my thing. I've never served with well, no, I did because I was military police for 2 years. We did have women, but infantry never had any women.
We didn't get women until we were in Afghanistan.
That'd have to be different.
It
Yeah.
was really weird.
Yeah, we need some female veteran voices. Definitely. We'll get
We
those.
need to do that. We need to find some diversity.
What were some of the things that helped you guys deal with shit when you got out? Because I've been out for 10 years and I really haven't had any outreach from anybody. I haven't had any help with anything. I still don't have my disability status taken care of because I was living so remotely that it just wasn't available to me.
And there's
for
no
5
VSO
years.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tough.
Yeah, so I have to take a week off work and go to spend a week in Portland just to try to get that stuff squared away. And it's been 10 years. I'm not going to get 10 years of back pay for disability. It's not going to happen.
No. Actually, that was just in the Supreme Court. Somebody tried to say, it wasn't my fault that I didn't apply because of mental illness, and I wish I would have applied, and I should get that back pay, but the Supreme Court said no. You definitely need a VSO. We're working hard. We knew the last one. He was actually served with Zedwick and I.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But he was working so hard and he wasn't getting the support he needed. But I will say that the county, I think the Clatsop County people that are working it recognize that they need to do it better. That's not going to help you right now, and that sucks,
This is a big veteran community. Astoria, in a lot of ways, they're actually really proud of the veterans, but it's just we don't really have a veteran service in place.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Francis is really spearheading some stuff. He just wrote a letter to the editor. Brad and I are going to be talking to the VSO Nick in Tillamook next month, and they have 4 VSOs and an admin there. But what they did was they put on the ballot, I think 7 cents per every $1,000 of property tax would go directly to veterans, and they were able to to raise, I think it was like almost $400,000 a year to pay for more VSOs. So we are talking to him, and we're going to get that template, and we're going to move over here, and we're going to try to put on the ballot, not just Brad and I, but we're trying to get other people to do this, to vote for it. I don't think we would need 7 cents. Maybe 5 would be good.
I'm no mathematician, but we got twice the population, so half as much money, and we can get 4 VSOs here.
Yeah, and I think, and you are a mathematician. But I think that would. So we're working on it, and hopefully, we'll get some support from other people. I did email all of our lawmakers here. I emailed Representative Bonamici, and she did get back to me. So hopefully, she'll talk to us on the podcast, and we're going to bring this up, just what you guys talked about. Well, I want to get into Sunday night. We will be recording at the Armory here in town because they're having wrestling. Have you been to wrestling down there with CC's? You got to come down. I put you guys on a list. Get in for free.
Yeah.
All right. You guys come in. We're gonna get you on there for free, and it's upstairs. All year they were downstairs because it's a little smaller and the heat and stuff. Now they're upstairs, and CC and the guys put on a hilarious show. We were there last time. It was so funny.
Right on.
We should paint our faces.
I don't know the characters enough to do that yet, but we'll get to know them enough.
Ultimate Warrior.
Just do Odia Green, man.
One of the characters
taking over. So
Show up looking like the end of Predator.
So I don't think we're gonna get this podcast out before Sunday. I wish. I'll put it out on the Facebook page, and we're building a website. We got roguecell.vet. That's our website, so that's pretty cool. So you guys, all right, we'll see you on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I gotta thank Fort George, man. This is so cool. Brad and I are going out to Fort Stevens to talk about that military base. And Brad, did I miss anything? I think we got everything.
No, I think that we are.
We got the website, and we'll have that out soon.
Nice. I like
Still
the
working
logo.
on it. Yeah,
Pretty
my
awesome.
The General Bunny, my
with the
battle bunny.
with the carrot for a cigar.
Yeah, it's my battle bunny. We wanted to stay away from silhouettes of soldiers like every other veteran organization.
Oh, yeah.
And we were trying to stay away from guns. And thank you so much for being here, Z.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to be downstairs, I think, or just
we'll catch you on the
around
way
town
out.
in the stroller with the twins.
With the skateboard.
Yep. Got my own fire team to take care of that. Brad, good seeing you. Sean, I love you.
I love you,
See
buddy.
you as always,
See
man.
you, brother.
I'll let you know where we're at.
Tell Kristen hi.
I will.
Give Harvey a hug.
All right.
I just have to make him happy, man. He'll come after me. He pulled a knife on me last time. How old is he now?
Harvey did?
Yeah.
He'll be 4 at the end of January?
Yeah.
31st?
4-year-old pulls a knife on you, man. You gotta be nice to him. All right. Hey, Nate, thank you so much for being here, brother.
Absolutely. Anytime, man.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Great meeting you. Hopefully you can hang out. We'll see you on Sunday, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to come to that.
Well, that's
But I probably won't.
Yeah, well, we are rounding the half hour point, and I wanted to thank you guys. I don't want to cut you off. You guys have anything else to say, but I don't want to take all your time either.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for doing this and getting veterans' voices heard and out here sharing some stories. And I love the camaraderie and the community that's building through this.
Oh, yeah, this is really good.
Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
U.S. Army veteran Charlie Bravo. I gotta say, this is an incredible event for Astoria. Only a $10 admission.
That's true.
And you can bring in your own food and beverages.
I know. Everybody's eating pizza here, and the families are here. I love family events. There's at least 3 generations of people here, and that's just a lot of fun. There's the bell. Oh, Charlie Bravo's getting the crowd for the clap. Right into a Lazy Susan.
Are you like coming up with moves at this point?
What do you think of the wrestling?
Like the wrestler, like I know it's real, but like it looks fake, and it's just like cool.
Oh, Charlie Bravo slamming his head on the tables right in front of spectators. Come on, Charlie! Just 1, 2, Charlie Bravo!
We're together with veterans. It's a podcast called Rogue Cell, and we are here at the Pacific Northwest wrestling bout.
Yeah, probably.
And
At
we
the
are
Astoria Armory.
at the Astoria Armory, on Sunday nights. Awesome. And we are talking to Charlie Bravo, who just won the heavyweight championship belt tonight.
Yeah, it's I've been here going on 9 years, and it's definitely the closest I've been to it. So
This is the first time you even had a match, but you didn't know it was going to be.
now it's the first time I've had any belt here. Period.
Oh, that's great, man.
Wow,
So happy that
we're here to
happened.
see it.
Yeah, and in a veteran, so it's a veteran podcast. I was telling you a little bit about it, but so the horrible suicide rate for veterans, right? It was 22 a day, but now they have lowered it. But the VA's answer to that was, instead of like sending in a group of people to a rural area, they're like, hey, you know what? Why don't you guys start your own group? We'll help you guys, some with finances and some with just training and support. And so we kind of just fell into it, and we're vets. I was in for 12 years. I got out as E7.
Sure.
I did 6 regular Army and 6 in Bravo Company, 2-1-6-2.
Yep.
And that's where you served.
Yep, that was home.
That's wild.
So the training room in the armory.
In the back
There's
room.
a huge painting. It's all orange and red. That's me in the painting, and my brother painted that, and that's been there since like 2006.
Oh yeah. The last I knew it was still there. It's been a couple years since I've been there, but it's still there.
Funny. So Brad was in regular Army for
About 15 years before I was retired.
and he went different. He was a major, but don't hold it against him. He
Yeah,
was a
I
cool
wouldn't hold
officer.
that against me. I already hold it against me enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So you guys are a pretty close-knit family, huh?
Oh yeah. Everyone here they bring in real easy, and as long as you treat them as family, they treat you as family.
I don't know what the etiquette is. Do I just call you Charlie, or can I ask what your real name is?
My name is Brian.
Brian.
Yep.
And this is amazing. We were just talking about how there's like 3 or 4 generations of people here. They come here. The little kids get so mad they're busting their action figures.
Saw a pretty angry kid destroying his toys when CC won.
And this was actually a quiet show. Usually there's more people here, so it's a lot louder, a lot more going on. And
Well, we're trying to get more people here, so one of the ways that when, with a lot of vets, PTSD, they start isolating, they don't go to events and stuff. That's one of the ways that we're trying to help out veterans. It shows like you can come out here and do this type of stuff. I know like a lot of people don't like crowds, and I was definitely one of those people for a long time.
Me too.
But this is so friendly and inviting, and they're so welcoming of veterans. They just let us have a corner and just do what we wanted, take pictures and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, in CC's words, he said you guys can do whatever you want.
I was going to jump in and wrestle, but I would get hurt really easily. How many injuries do you get?
Since I've been here, I can count probably 3, 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're young, man. You're made out of rubber. I'm 50, so. But CC's, he looks like he got pretty hurt tonight, man. It's like
you definitely feel it. All that's under the mat is you got a bunch of 2x12s by 18 feet, and you got maybe an inch of padding, and that's it.
Wow.
So you're basically landing on wood.
Yeah. I saw last time we saw Patrick Large jump off the top turnbuckle and land on his ass. Well, hey man, I don't want to keep you from doing what you're thinking. I really appreciate you sitting here and talking to us, and that's really cool that we're both from BCO.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you might know the same people. I don't know, man. I got out in 2007, so I don't think anybody's still around.
No, probably not.
No. Brian, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
The heavyweight champion, man. All right. That's cool, man. Thanks.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Together with Veterans Northwest Oregon or the Oregon Firearm Safety Coalition or the Department of Veterans Affairs. You can find us at roguecell.vet or facebook.com/groups/roguecell. If you or a loved one is experiencing thoughts of suicide, help is available. Please call 988 and press 1 for veterans. This line is answered 24/7, so there is always someone to help. And with help comes hope, and hope saves lives. The second of the 503rd Rogue Cell is produced by Brad Peitzig with support from Together with Veterans and is hosted by Sean Davis. Music provided by Michael Dean Dameron. Thank you for joining us.